Welcome back to AFL from LA. Who loses and why? Tips round 20? Can that be right? Is it round 20?
It is.
I'm here with Andy from Ankle Sore, as you all know and love. How are you this
Cindye.
week?
I'm good.
Did you celebrate your team's win this week?
Far from it. Exact opposite.
We can get right into that in a second. I'll just update everyone on our tallies. Once again, Andy and I are, I'm at 109. Andy's at 103 plus 1. We both lost 3 this week. And we both picked 6. So we're every week at a standstill. We'll see about this week. I have a feeling this week I'm giving you a chance to catch up.
Really?
I have at least one controversial pick, I think.
Okay, that's
for sure.
Good.
Yeah,
we'll
see though. Thursday night, another Thursday night game for your Blues. It's the Hawks.
Did you think that you think they were primetime Blues?
I mean, you know, they must
Shocking.
be. We must be missing something. But,
Yeah, we're missing something. Yeah.
July 24th, Hawks versus Blues at the MCG, 7:30. So last week, the Hawks beat Port, by 38 in Launceston. I said it right, didn't I? Launceston.
You did.
Lonnie, good old Lonnie.
It took you a while to get it in our live stream on Saturday, but you got it in the end.
I literally wrote LAWN just to...
Hey, whatever it takes.
So, yeah, that game was 87 to...
49 or something?
38 points. They lost by 38 points.
Yep.
And the Blues won a game. They beat Melbourne by 8. You're not happy about this?
Not at all.
Tell me why.
I've been saying about the Tom DeConning deal, like the higher they go up the ladder, the worse the compensation pick's going to be. So what's the point? You had your 4 weeks ago when the media was saying, oh, they've got 4 winnable games, Carlton, and they won none of them. That's it. That's the time to throw in the towel and rest the conning and not win any games and finish as low as you can and get that good pick, you know. But no, they have to come out and win and show grit and fight. And
well, could they bench DeConing? Would that help your problem or no?
He shouldn't play. He shouldn't be playing. He almost got injured in that game last week. He went off with a shoulder injury and everyone thought, oh, he's dislocated his shoulder. Well,
that would not be good.
No. But anyway.
The Hawks, Finn McGuinness had a lacerated kidney and had to have surgery in Hobart. Did you hear about that?
I did. I don't know how that happened. I mean, it was wet. And
the last I heard, and it might have changed, so of course let me know, is that there was no obvious hit or tackle or anything that they could pinpoint to what happened. So it could just be one of those fluke things that he just got a little bump in the wrong place. And
more than likely,
And then obviously there's the whole Francis Evans, Stephen May controversy. Where do you fall on this?
Oh, it's bad.
Bad?
Yeah, it's
bad. You think explain.
I said this yesterday. Whether we like it or not, AFL have stamped that out, right? Now, whether you go for the ball or not, if you get someone high, you're in trouble. That's it. There was commentators that said, oh, what's he meant to do? You know, let him run into an open goal and his coach is going to yell at him. If you're not there before the other player, that's what you're meant to do these days.
But that contest was pretty close. They were both heading straight to the same ball.
Granted,
so at
it was
what point
close.
Is the expectation that he is aware, we're about to crash? Was it a second? 2 seconds?
That's okay. They make microsecond decisions, these footballers. So this notion of, they have to make split they do. And if you don't, you're in trouble. That's it.
All right. So I noticed something odd about the Blues this week.
They won? Is that what you noticed, Lod?
Well, I noticed they were wearing orange and blue, and they were in the Giants colors. And I'm wondering if that was their strategy for the week, that they thought, dress like a winner, be a winner. What do you think?
What have the Giants ever won? Have they ever won a premiership?
They're in the 8, so that's certainly better off than what the Blues are doing at the moment.
That's true, but no.
Is Curnow back? No? No comment?
No. Yes, he scored 3 goals.
Okay.
A 19-year-old kid scored 4, so you tell me if he's back.
Can Carlton keep Hawthorn's intercept defenders quiet, or will the Hawks be picking off kicks and turning defense into quick goals?
Picking off kicks. They're too smart for Carlton.
Was there anything about Carlton's game that you were happy about? I mean, how were you feeling about, what's the kid's name, Ashton Moyer?
I was rapt about Ashton Moyer because I've been calling for him to play for over a year.
Well, that's good enough because I think he's your future, right? At the moment, he's the future of Carlton.
100%.
Was the win enough to quelch the Sack Voss cries, or is that still loud and proud?
It's actually intensified in my mind again. Out. Because he's going to go back to square one next year and he's going to play the same old. Get out.
Get out. I was waiting for you to say
get out.
Who loses and why?
Oh, Carlton, because they're useless. They're shocking.
I agree. I think the Hawks intercept squeeze and the Blues turnover itch is going to be a Thursday night migraine. Friday night, Essendon versus the Bulldogs at Marvel at 7:10. So last week, the Bombers were demolished, by the Giants. And the Dogs fell short at the Gabba. Essendon actually showed some green shoots against GWS. They had early forward half pressure. McMahon had a 2-goal debut spark. Merritt and Ridley steadying the ship, and Peter Wright was pretty useful in the ruck. Which of these positives would you double down on this week? And how would you tweak it to give the Bombers a real shot in round 20?
They've just got so many young kids, Essendon, that they're not quite ready for AFL football. To play the likes of the veteran Bulldogs, it's a tough task, The veterans have to carry Essendon as far as they can and hope that the kids just do something special,
So who loses and why?
Oh, Essendon, because the Bulldogs just beat up on the lower teams. They just do.
I mean, they don't call them the flat track bullies for nothing, right?
Exactly. So here's another flat track for them to beat up on Essendon.
I agree. Essendon will lose. I think, though, if they can apply the pressure and grit that they did last week against the Giants, that they can keep it from becoming like a blowout that
a massacre,
the Doggies seem to, have against the lower sides. But I think the Doggies have more going right for them at the moment.
Absolutely.
Friday night. Oh, God, this one hurts. This one is, it gives me indigestion just thinking about it. So this is Friday night.
Why?
GWS against Sydney at NG Stadium, 7:50 p.m. Battle of the Bridge, Part 2. The Giants beat Essendon 104-56, but not by nearly enough for my liking. The Swans handled North 84-53. The Swans have actually won 5 of the last 6 derbies. Per usual, Giants got off to a sleepy start, and although it was damp on the field, they had, sloppy ball use. So is it a coincidence that the roof was left open on Marvel before this game so that the field would be damped?
I don't know if Essendon's got that much pull to go, okay, let's leave the roof open.
I had to laugh, though, because you're always going on about, you need a roof. And I'm like, that place has a roof, and yet...
it's incredible. It's beyond belief.
So is it safe to assume that with all things AFL, it's just incompetence?
Don't praise them with that word, incompetence. They're just dummies. They're absolute dummies, they are.
So Stringer is proving to be handy. He slammed 3 against his former side, Grzeski, Max. Let's call him Max.
Max, yeah, let's call him Max.
Jesse Hogan, Josh Kelly, and Sam Taylor all expected back this week. However, let's talk a little bit about Isaac Heaney.
Oh, you mean Isaac Swans?
Yeah, as you like to call him. 5 goals, 34 disposals. I think he equaled his career best goal haul, and he recorded 81% kicking efficiency from 22 kicks. I mean, he was on fire. What did you make of the Swans' performance against North?
It's Heaney or bust. Last week was a prime example.
Was it really? I mean, could Heaney have done what Heaney did without, say, Goulden playing with him?
Of course.
Well,
they didn't hold him up on a chairlift and go, here, Isaac, here's a goal. No, he worked hard for them. He got 34 possessions. He set up every goal, and it was like,
So, Andrew, are you still sticking to this it's only Heaney? That's what you're trying to say. That's not a team effort. That the only reason they won is because of Heaney.
100%. That's what I'm saying. I stick to it, and that's it.
Who loses and why?
Sydney.
Sydney lose.
Yeah, they lose because they're relying on one player to excel every game.
Ricky has got his head as a go.
Oh, Ricky, come at me, Ricky, because you know I'm right.
I'm going to say that Sydney lose. I'm going to say it. Okay?
I didn't expect anything less, let's be honest.
So the Giants midfield's back. I mean, the fact that Kelly's going to be playing, Cornelio's there. It is also the home ground advantage. I give them that. Mm-hmm. But I've seen these teams play each other enough times to know that anything can happen in a derby.
Fair enough.
So I'm standing by my man, or my men, as it would be. I'm very uncomfortable.
Yes, I understand.
Moving right along to Saturday, July 26th. Oh my God, July is almost over. I can't even believe it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Gold Coast Suns versus Brisbane Lions, people first at 1:20 p.m. Mm-hmm. So the Suns were, I don't even think this word does it justice, were belted by Adelaide.
You're being
46 to 107. Lions, they outworked the Dogs by 10, 86 to 76. Brisbane leads the Q Clash 18 to 8 and averages 99 points since 2020. Just a little fun fact for you. All right, let's talk about your Crows. They kicked 11 consecutive goals, racing to a 71-5 lead by early third term. I mean, what the peep? Like, what? Well, what happened?
What do you mean? The Crows are the real deal, and Gold Coast, get out.
Something went awry. That was not your normal, loss. That was...
No, but it is for Gold Coast. This is what they produce. This is what I've been saying all year. This has been happening for 13 years with Gold Coast.
So without Tuke Miller and Sam Collins out there, how much of this blowout is about missing the structure and how much is about missing leadership?
No, zero. Zero about
Zero.
that. No. Yeah, no, I don't subscribe to that. Every team's got injuries. Even with Adelaide, they've got some injuries, you know.
Sam Collins and Tuke Miller are pretty substantial in terms of the performance of the Suns, I would say.
True, but they didn't play the week before. Well, Sam Collins didn't play the week before. Tuke Miller went off injured in the second quarter.
Yeah,
and they still beat Collingwood. So
let's talk about Brisbane. So Brisbane dominated just about every stat. Inside 50s, clearances, time in forward half. But they still needed a goal after the siren to win. So what do you contribute that to?
Cockiness.
Oh, yeah?
They were in front by a few goals and sort of kept them at arm's length until the last quarter where the Bulldogs really gave them a good show. And that led to them having, I think, 10 more scoring shots than the Bulldogs, but they were all behind. So it's kind of like, you know, that's not ideal. You know, you want to nail those goals and not be in the... I mean, there was 4 points at one point. And you know, a couple of things go your way, you lose that game. So
yeah, it was very close, right?
Very close, yeah. So I wouldn't be happy if I was Chris Fagan.
So who loses and why?
Brisbane. Because they're playing at the Fortress, you know, People First Stadium, at Fortress, where there'll be 3,000 people.
I'm shocked.
Why?
I'm shocked that you would, after all of this, you would say that they...
Well, because it's human behaviour. They're back at home. They're back in their comfort zone. And Brisbane's somewhat out of their comfort zone this week. I just think the Suns at 120... That's prime for them. They play well during the day for some silly reason.
They get fueled by the sun. It's like solar power.
Possibly.
I think Gold Coast lose. I think that Brisbane has dominated this derby. I think that Gold Coast hasn't won at home against them in recent times. Also with the outs that they have. I understand that this is an important game actually for both teams because basically Brisbane could possibly move into first if they were to win, right? And Gold Coast is looking at, being out of the 8.
If they lose, yeah.
So I think it's going to be a tough game, but I'm edging out the Lions to win and the Suns to lose. Are you changing your tip?
I am. Gold Coast lose.
Saturday, July 26th, Fremantle Dockers against the West Coast Eagles at Optus Stadium, 4:15. The Dockers pinched a 1-point thriller over the Pies in front of their largest ever home and away crowd, and Patrick Voss starred with 6 goals. Eagles were thumped by the Tigers, 56-105. Oh, God, that was so painful. Both of them were painful for different reasons.
I did try to tell you about the Eagles that they lose, and you laughed at me. But anyway, that's
correct.
Okay. That's okay. Don't worry.
I think I wasn't alone in my what's the word you like to say about the Carlton supporters? Delusional.
In your West Coast delusion. Oh, I know you weren't alone.
As the once far-off idea of having to eat 100 nuggets is becoming more and more of a reality, how are you feeling?
That's how I feel about Fremantle at the moment.
Fine. We're going to fine you, what, 500 or is it 1,000? I forget. What did Harley get?
1,000. They should change a fine to eating 100 nuggets.
Right? Yeah. Maybe they'll
Which one would you prefer? I reckon you'd pay $1,000.
Both the Tigers and the Eagles are rebuilding with rookie coaches and bottom tier lists. But how has Richmond managed to stay competitive while West Coast keeps getting belted?
I've said this a few weeks ago. Richmond's leaders are premiership players and probably better leaders than the West Coast leaders.
I think you're right. They're core people, especially like their midfield
100%.
Seems to be,
I can name 5 off the bat that you'd go, oh, geez, that's a good spot. Like Broad, Vlosten, Taranto, Hopper.
Yep.
Precia's come back, Nankervis, there's 6 premiership players that have played in 3 premierships.
So let's say it's Sunday morning and we wake up to the news that the Eagles have actually beaten Freo. How did they do it?
Ooh. It'd probably be raining pretty hard.
Okay.
So it'd be very slippery. It'd be 5-6. That's the only chance. Okay. And Harley's kicked 3 of those 6.
Well, again, these derbies, you never know. Crazy things
I know.
happen,
I've got a fair idea.
So who loses and why?
Oh, come on. West Coast aren't in the same league as Fremantle.
I agree. West Coast lose. It's a classic case for me of like 1 step forward, 100 steps back. And it's like the AFL versus waffle.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
Why do we say waffle for WAFL and we don't say awful for AFL?
We should start saying it's awful because it is awful.
Moving right along to Saturday at 7:35, North Melbourne will be facing the Geelong Cats at Marvel. So the Roos were outclassed by the Swans. It was 53-84. And the Cats, they mauled the Saints. It was 113-82. Isidore was delighted. He was happy his team won. What kind of ripple effect do you think the ruck mismatch had on North's structure and midfield pressure, especially after Coleman Jones went down?
Massive, because they're already, with Sherry out, they're already behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
And then their only real ruckman, Coleman Jones, goes down the first quarter, and it's like, Bryn Teakle had to go into the ruck, took away from their forward structure, game over.
Did the loss say more about where the Saints are at or how dangerous Geelong could be when they really get rolling at the right time?
Probably a bit of both.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've been hard on St Kilda because I think Windhager's better than Tagger.
Yeah.
Ross is putting tagging again this week and they lose comfortably. And so just let them play their natural game. I think you'll see a better St Kilda, And Geelong are always dangerous. With Jeremy Cameron up there, he can kick 8 goals at any point, any game.
What does North have to get right to beat Geelong this week?
Cherry out again. That's, for the lower teams when they have a player or 2 out, it almost becomes impossible because they just can't afford to be one soldier less. They just can't.
Does Nick Lucky come back this week?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Like, for him to miss 2 weeks, his knee can't be that great.
Yeah.
At this point in the season, like, do you risk him for next year? There's 4 games left, 5 games left. It's like...
Who loses and why?
Oh, North, for all the reasons I just said.
I agree. North lose. They're undermanned. No Cherry, no chance. We're at the showdown on Saturday at 8:10. Adelaide versus Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. The Crows 107 to Suns 46, as we discussed. And the Power were flat against the Hawks, 49-87. The showdown ledger is 29-28 Port.
Ooh.
The Crows won when they met up in round 9 in a thriller by only 5 points. That was earlier in the season. Port had more clearances and inside 50s, but still lost by 6 goals. How do you suspect the game would have turned out if Horne-Francis and Rozee and Rioli were playing?
I'd guess that in those conditions, Rioli's good for a couple of goals. Horne-Francis is just a class act, and Connor Rozee always kicks a goal. So there's 5 goals, only lost by, 38 points or whatever, so could have gone the other way. Like you said, they were dominating clearances, so they had opportunities. They just didn't have anyone to score goals.
By the way, I want to thank everyone who did tune into the live stream. We had a lot of fun, and we really enjoyed getting to interact with you guys in the moment. One of the things I was most surprised about is everybody hating on my T Barras. I don't know what that was about. Their tea's too old and slow for the likings of the modern footy watcher. Is that right?
Maybe they're just being honest.
When the results are that as lopsided as they were with the Crows versus the Suns, okay?
Yep.
How do you separate what Adelaide was getting right versus what the Suns were doing wrong?
Look, I think Adelaide, we know they can kick a score. They kick a score. They kick 100 every week almost, right?
Yeah.
So they just played their game. They just did what they know how to do and executed well. Whereas I still don't know with Gold Coast what you're getting. I know what I'm getting with Adelaide every week.
So showdowns, as we said, and derbies are different animal. And earlier this year, as I mentioned, Port only lost by 5 points. But with the key players out for Port and the hot streak for Adelaide, how do you see this game playing out?
I see this being a one-sided affair.
Even though Rozee's going to be back.
Oh, yeah, they can put 3 Rozees this week. Won't make a difference.
All right, well, then might as well ask you who loses and why.
Port Adelaide, because they're just not up to the standard of my Crows.
Well, I agree. I think Port's going to lose. I think the Crows have a better midfield, superior forward line, and they have the home team advantage in this one. And I think that with the key players out, even with Rozee coming back, I think it might just be too much to overcome. So
I agree.
Richmond versus Collingwood at the MCG. This is a classic Melbourne footy game. 2:10 on Sunday. Tigers crushed my Eagles 105-56, and the Magpies had a heartbreaking loss to the Fremantle Dockers 78-79. After back-to-back losses, do the Tigers walk into a correction game, or does Collingwood still have a problem to sort out?
I feel like Collingwood's got a slight problem.
Okay.
And I don't think it's with their players. I think it's more with the coach.
Really?
Resting players is becoming a problem.
Okay.
This is what happens. They've lost 2 in a row and they're only 2 points ahead of Brisbane. 2 weeks ago, they were 10 points ahead.
I asked you a few weeks ago, is there any chance of them dropping out of one? And you're like, nope, no chance. And here we are.
Yeah, it still might not happen, but the fact they've lost the last 2 is a big problem, right?
Yeah.
I thought that they'd lose against Gold Coast, which is I'm fine with that. I didn't see this happening against Fremantle, although they only lost by a point, but still it's a loss. Who are they resting? 2 weeks ago, they rested Lipinski and Myercheck.
Okay.
This week, they rested Membry and someone else, and it's like...
And Bobby Hill's been out, obviously, on the last 2 games.
He's been out.
And Houston's been out.
DeGoey still hasn't played. I just feel that the resting of players is really starting to hurt them.
Richmond's fastball movement carved up West Coast. But what does that look like against a more structured side like Collingwood?
Oh, yeah, it doesn't look very good at all. Collingwood won't allow them to do that.
Okay.
They structure up too well, Collingwood, and yeah, it's not going to happen.
Who loses and why?
Oh, Richmond. Richmond for that reason that, I mean, they were allowed to play, their style against West Coast, and you saw the outcome, 8 goals to 1 in the third quarter. Blew them out of the water. They will have a go because they always do, Richmond, which I love.
I always feel this, at least this season, I'm like, don't count them out. Like,
no,
just don't count them out,
I'd be wrapped with what they've done this year as a Richmond supporter, but I don't think they're any chance against...
Where they've won 5 games, right?
That's exceeded everyone's expectations.
Yeah, so I agree. I think the Tigers lose. I think their turnover-heavy game style breaks down against Collingwood's midfield structure and defensive pressure, and it exposes their lack of consistency against top teams. St. Kilda against Melbourne. So here's a question for you. Do you know anyone with the name Kilda? Because like most saints, like St. Andrews, I'm not.
I get it. Yeah.
You know, like, is Kilda a name? Have you ever heard anyone called Kilda?
Maybe in the 1800s it was. I don't know. I mean,
does anyone know a Kilda? Let me know. So they're playing Melbourne at Marvel at 3:20 on Sunday.
They are.
Saints, they were outmatched by the Cats, 82-113. The Demons were beaten by the Blues. They had excessive turnovers that Carlton capitalized on. So May, as we discussed, is probably, he's out. Either for concussion or suspension. We'll see how long he's going to be out for. Was Carlton's pressure the reason Melbourne looked scrambled, or were the Demons already off their game before the Blues turned up the heat?
A little bit of both. I feel that Melbourne just went on their game because it took Cozzy Pickett to kick 5 goals. Again, kicked half their score.
Yeah.
Just to give them a chance to win, and they almost got there in the end, right? So Melbourne as a team just didn't show up.
The Saints won the midfield battle. Why couldn't they convert that into a win over the Cats?
Because down at that cricket pitch, like, it's very hard to score there. It's so narrow. Like, they don't, like, it's like a chess game down there, and Geelong just put their chess pieces in the way.
Yeah.
So you've got to go out wide and there's no room. So they just congest everything for you, Geelong. And once they get the ball, they go 100 miles an hour, and St Kilda just, that's it.
Windhager did a job on Pickett earlier this season.
He did.
How do you see the Saints approaching that matchup this time around, especially with Melbourne likely expecting it?
I'll ask you, who's St Kilda's coach?
Ross Lyon.
I rest my case. He will go to Cozzy Pickett 100%.
Do you think he'll be successful in keeping him from scoring?
Ooh, not from scoring. He might be successful keeping him off the ball a bit, but scoring wise, Pickett's just he's a magician.
So who loses and why?
Melbourne lose because they've been poor, and St Kilda at least been chugging along.
Right.
Nasai and Wanga needs to go into the midfield. I think that's going to help them a heap, and it has already.
I thought this was my wild card. I picked Melbourne to lose.
Oh. I've been waiting all episode.
I was like, there's no way he's going to pick the Saints to win. I picked them to lose because they've beaten them before earlier this season. They were forcing turnovers and rebounding quickly. And that game plan will still work. And if St Kilda bring the pressure and move the ball cleanly, they can absolutely do it, especially at Marvel. And they've been like so close, like they've been building. And I just
I know that's why good form is good form, and
it's time for a little payoff, right?
I agree, and we said that with North a few weeks ago, and that happened. Remember, they just kept pushing and pushing, and they got better and better, and they won those 2 or 3 games in a row. And I think St Kilda's on the same path.
So Andrew, I have some comments.
Let's go.
At Frio95 says, wow, tipping against Frio again. I'm looking forward to the both of you eating humble pie 2 weeks in a row. By the way, those nuggets are getting closer. LOL.
Jeez, what the Free have to do? Do they have to fly over just along with me to feed them to me? I'm eating them. I've conceded. Trust me.
Are we going to do a live stream of you eating these nuggets? I think that's what Ankle Sore should do.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're doing a live stream of it. I'll have my bucket beside me. Don't you worry about that. The amount of sodium I'm gonna consume. Oh my God! Is
there a time limit, or do you have how long do you have to eat 100 nuggets? Like, maybe you didn't make that rule up. Maybe you could eat it over a week.
No. It's got to be in the sitting. So I would say half an hour.
Half an hour.
What is that, long or short?
That seems short.
No, I'm going half an hour. I'm going to challenge myself.
At 777. Oh, this is a good question for you. He says, will bottom 8 teams reduce their starting lineups minutes due to not making playoffs and preventing injury for next season? He's basically was comparing it to the NBA. And he said this is his first season tracking the AFL. So he was curious about how AFL treats this versus the way the NBA. And I know you watch a lot of NBA.
Yeah. Well, 777, unfortunately, AFL is probably 20 years behind the NBA. And it's very rare that it happens in the AFL. You've already heard that Connor Rosie's coming back for a nothing game. Can't play finals. Yes, it's a showdown, but he's got a broken hand. So that pretty much proves my point that they just don't do it in the AFL. Enough, anyway.
At Ricky is Swan.
Cancel this one.
He said, I think the Derby is the great leveler. doesn't matter which team is playing well, they both tend to rise to the occasion. Would you agree with that statement?
Somewhat agree. Like, for example, Freo West Coast this week, right?
Yeah.
West Coast is just so far beyond repair at the moment that it's probably not going to be a contest. You know, Swans GWS, a bit closer. Obviously, Brisbane Gold Coast, a bit closer. So, yeah, I somewhat agree with that. They do rise to the occasion, but there's just some outliers that just don't make sense. And
look, as an Eagles supporter, I would be delighted if they at least showed up for like 2 quarters and like they did against Collingwood, like just played their little hearts out. And even if they lost in the end, that would be great because I want to see more of the improvements that we've seen, and less of the setbacks. And you know, I think I think the Eagles have some of the best supporters in the world. I'm not going to lie; like they have been there for every game for the last however many years of this sad show. And I think people would be really happy just to see that kind of, you know, effort and gumption, if you will. Anthony Pereira, my Hawks buddy. Which teams do I keep from them? This was our which one would we give up if you're the AFL footy boss? He said it would be all Melbourne teams. Sorry. Spoken
really,
like a
Anthony.
True Victorian. He is not giving up any of them. Keeping North, the Bulldogs, the Saints. Who was the other one? Melbourne. Anthony, I love you, but okay. And last but not least, Robert Jeffries 8739 says, I'm with Andy about the Crows. My Crows! Triple exclamation point and LOL. And I asked him what he thought the margin would be, and he said maybe 15 to 20 points.
there you go.
He was wrong.
He was very wrong.
And last but not least, at Magpies Madness 90 just said, love you guys. And thank you. We love you too. Thanks so much.
We love you back.
So anyway, that's it. We did it round 20, and there's only, there's 4 more rounds
after this, yep.
So essentially what's going to happen is after the 24th round, depending on the next couple weeks, there will still be a team possibly wondering if they're playing finals the week before finals. Is that right?
It's possible.
It's possible, right?
It's possible, yeah. Gold Coast have to play the make-up game against Essendon, and they could be sitting 9th at the time, have to win that game to play finals. It is, isn't it? It's bizarre.
Do we know, have you heard anyone say how many games, like if they lose the next 2 or if they lose the next how many games, like will we know that it's impossible or?
Well, they say you need to probably win 14 to play finals. I think 8th is on 44, which is 11 games. So you still need to win, to be safe, you still need to win 3 games.
Yeah.
So if Gold Coast lose this week against Brisbane, anything's possible.
Wow, this is going to be an intense end of the year. We're going to all need to take a trip to Bali, I think is... we have to book our tickets now. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for hanging with us. And again, so appreciative that you hung out with us on Saturday morning. It was awesome. We're going to try another one, Andy. Are we doing another live stream?
I'm sure we will before the end of the year. We will.
Okay, we'll let you know. We'll let you know when. And hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great weekend. And I hope your team wins. Bye now.